One of the interesting aspects of the Ghislaine Maxwell trial is, many of us have been waiting for Maxwell herself to sort of drop the bomb and put out her little black book and expose who were all these guys, all these powerful men around the world who were part of the Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell network. And that hasn't happened yet, and I'm not sure if it will happen. They say that Ghislaine Maxwell might be able to get a lower sentence if she were to do this, but I think that the prosecution is even more eager than Maxwell to conceal this information. They're probably putting pressure on Maxwell in all the different ways that they can, and the legal system has all kinds of ways of bludgeoning you. And even when something is in your interest to do, they have ways of making you not do it. So I'm not that hopeful that Ghislaine Maxwell will kind of spill the beans. The good news is that there's been some kind of, I would call it almost fallout from the trial, because what's happening is that media sources are running to other people who are involved. And one of those people is a woman named Lady Victoria Hervey. She's someone who's British royalty, and she was also kind of one of these it girls, a kind of Paris Hilton, if you will, of Great Britain. And there was recently an ITV documentary called Ghislaine, Prince Andrew, and the Pedophile. So it was actually an exploration of what Lady Victoria Hervey knew about the Jeffrey Epstein network. And her statements I find extremely interesting. She goes, first of all, Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton were so close that they were, quote, like brothers. Like brothers. And I don't think she means this in the sense that they had, they really cared about each other, or that they had common parents. No, I think she means that they were buddies on the same expedition. And they were consorting together about how to carry out this disgusting enterprise. And she gives some windows into how this all works. In fact, she says, quote, I don't know if you saw the paintings that were in Jeffrey Epstein's house, one of them being a portrait of Bill Clinton wearing a dress that Monica Lewinsky wore when they had the affair. She goes, so yeah, he was super close to Jeffrey Epstein. Think about this. The media, by the way, has suppressed this. We don't read about it. He was super close to Epstein. They were like brothers, and he was close to Ghislaine as well. Now, we know that that's true. Why? All you have to do is look at the official picture of Bill Clinton walking Chelsea Clinton down for her wedding. And who do you see right there in the front row? Unmistakable Ghislaine Maxwell. So she's obviously a close friend. Why else would she be in a very coveted kind of wedding reception crowd? She's right there in the front. Quote, I'm now continuing with comments by Lady Victoria Hervey. She basically says, I don't think Jeffrey could have done any of it without Ghislaine. We know that to be true. I like her line. She goes, quote, it was kind of like a Batman and Robin, and they were a double act. They sort of operate together, except in this case, not to right wrongs, but to perpetrate them. Now, she goes on to say, now this is a woman, by the way, who dated briefly Prince Andrew. And this is another part of the interview that's pretty interesting, is she says that Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein both saw Andrew as a kind of bait. In other words, they knew that people are mesmerized by royalty, especially British royalty. So they thought, listen, Andrew's a perv. If we can get him into this, then he will be a magnet because people want to meet Andrew. He's royalty. In America, you can have money, but you can't have royalty. So let's loop in the royal into our little brotherly band. And they were evidently successful in doing so. And she says that even she was at that time dating Andrew. She was seen as kind of a socialite. And so she says she too was seen as bait. Again, what she means by bait is that she is not the actual target of these men. They're not interested in her per se. They're interested in the fact of creating an aura of elitism, exclusivity, enormous wealth, power and privilege, and royalty is part of all that. And so the more people that you get who are British royalty, including Prince Andrew, the more you can then go to, young girls who are trying to make it in the world and say, listen, wouldn't you like to come to a party with all these powerful influence? Wouldn't you like to go to an island? It's a private island. You're going to meet all these amazing people who are movers and shakers in the world. Think of the kind of opportunities that may open up to you. This is the corrupt, downright wicked circuit that might have been concocted by Jeffrey Epstein, but was carried out apparently with the full knowledge, if not active participation, of his brother, Bill Clinton.